Salutations everyone and welcome to another unfuckable video on KTMX. Today is gonna be about the top 15 PC games that are of mid-range space for mid-range PCs. So further ado, let's get started with the countdown. Farewell. As for the number 15, it is the Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is an action hack and splash video game developed by Platinum Games and produced by Kojima Production for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and Microsoft Windows. It is a spin-off in Metal Gear series set for players after the events of Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, where players control Raiden, a cyborg who controls the private military company Desperado Enforcement. The game performs combos and counterattacks through the uses of blade mode. Raiden can disassemble cyborgs in slow motion and steal parts stored in their body. Now, I think the game is pretty great and works on your PC is pretty nice with high graphics settings. And for now, we're gonna have to hop into the next number of game. Number 14, it is Syndra 4. Syndra 4 is an open-world action-adventure game in the Syndra series developed by Volition and published by the Deep Silver in the game. The playable character is the leader of the Third Street Science, a street gang that has become the world's most powerful and the popular organization and must fend off an alien invasion. After becoming president of the United States and receiving superpowers. That's unfuckable. The player is free to explore their environments while completing and completing main and side mission at their leisure. The game incorporates elements from science fiction game and video games and films and continues the series' reputation for over-the-top parody. It was released in August 2013 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and was later ported to PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Linux in 2015. The game was Volition's first after its sale to Koch Media. Well, further ado, let's get into number 13, cause the number 14, you know what is, this game is kinda weird. Anyway, let's go to number 13. Alright, let's go to number 13. Darksiders 2 is an action role-playing hack and splash video game developed by Bejel Games and published by the THQ company. It is a sequel to Darksiders and was released in the August 2012 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and as launch title for Wii U upon the console's Australian, European and North American release in November 2012. An enhanced version titled Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition was published by the THQ Nordic for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows and Steam. Now for the gameplay, we're gonna have to talk about it. So as the players can take control of Death, one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. One core gameplay is an action role-playing hack and splash style. The game makes frequent use of interactive puzzle elements requiring the player to think their way through a series of levers, doors, elevators, portals, etc. in order to traverse areas and reach objectives. Wow, we're gonna go to number 12 as we're gonna have to end this video pretty quick. Not too much, not too little, but we're gonna have to get into number 12. Number 12, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 is an action-adventure game, the sequel to the 2010 the game Castlevania Lords of Shadow, the part of the Castlevania franchise. The game was developed by Mercury's team and published by Konami. It was released late February 2014 in both North America and Europe on the March 2014 in Australia. A Japanese release was released on September 4, 2014. Under the title Akumajo Dracula, Lord of Shadow 2, a downloadable chapter has also been released in March from the same year. The year and the story is set in both medieval and the modern worlds and follows weakened Dracula, who is on quest to defeat his former enemy Satan. Gameplay takes after the original Lords of Shadow, but this time through an open world. The player controls Dracula, who uses multiple powers and weapons to achieve his goals. Now we're gonna hop into number 11. Now as for the number 11, and unfortunately it is Deadpool. This is what awesome looks like. Deadpool is an anti-hero action comedy beat-up game based on Marvel Comics character of the same name. The video game was developed by High Moon Studios and published by the Activision for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Former Deadpool comic writer Daniel Way created the game's plot and Nolan, not voiced by the character Deadpool. The game received mixed to positive reviews, with plot elements commonly praised and gameplay elements found liking. Deadpool, along with the most other game published by Activision that has used the Marvel license, were delisted and removed from all digital storefronts on January 1, 2016. As of July 2016, the game was made available to purchase again on Steam. The game was released on November 18, 2015 on PlayStation and Xbox One to coincide with the 2016 film of the same name. So further ado, let's get and hop on the number 10. Number 10, Hitman Absolution, which is absolutely a stealth video game developed by IO Interactive and published by the Square Enix company. It is the 5th installment in the Hitman series and runs on IO Interactive's proprietary Glacier 2 game engine. Before release, the developers stated that Absolution would be easier to play and more accessible, while still retaining hardcore aspects of the franchise. The game was released on 20 November 2012, which is on the 27th, or you can say 47th week of the year, Hitman 47. In reference to the protagonist, Agent 47 for Microsoft Windows and PlayStation 3, and also Xbox 360. On 15 May 2014, Hitman Absolution Elite Edition was released for OS X by Feral Interactive. It contained all previously released downloadable content, including Hitman's Sniper Challenge of making a documentary and a 72-page art book. Now, when I hop on the number 9, as we have already finished the Hitman Absolution review. Number 9, Dishonored. Dishonored is a 2012 stealth action-adventure video game developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. It was released worldwide in October 2012 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, set in fictional plague-ridden industrial city of Dunwall. Dishonored follows the story of Corvo Attano, bodyguard of the Empress Dishonored, of the Easels. He is primed for her murder and forced to become an assassin, seeking revenge on those who conspired against him. Corvo is aided in his quest by loyalists, a resistance group fighting on real climb downwall, and the outsider, a powerful being who imbues Corby with magical abilities. Several noted actors including Susan Sarandon, Brad Dourif, and other motherfuckers provided voice works for the game. The game is played from a first-person perspective and allows the player to undertake a series of assassination missions in a variety of ways, with emphasis on player choice. Well, now we're gonna hop into number 8. Number 8, it is Attack on Titan video game. You can also call it IoT Wings of Freedom or Shingeki no Kyoji slash video game based on Hajime Ishiyama's manga series of the same name, released for PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation Vita, and also in PC. The game's visual matches that of the anime series, and it features one player fighting multiple enemies. The 3D maneuvering gear can be used to ascend to high areas. The game features 10 playable characters initially. Only 3 can be selected, but as players progress through attack story mode, more characters are unlocked. The game was published by Koei Tecmo and developed by Omega Force, and was first announced at Gamescom. A new trailer was unveiled on November 6, 2015. In addition to details about the collector's edition, it was released for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Vita, and in Japan actually, and for PC also, and Xbox One. Windows version were announced following its Western announcement by Koei Tecmo. Well, now we're gonna go to number 7 and let's see what kind of game it is. As for the number 7, it is Bioshock Infinite. It is a first-person shooter video game developed by Irrational Games and published by the 2K Games. It was released worldwide for the Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360 platforms on March 2016. Actually you can say 2013. An OS export by Aspire was later released on August 29 installment in Bioshock series. And though it is not immediately part of the storyline of previous Bioshock games, it features similar gameplay concepts and themes. Irrational Games and creative directional Ken Levine based games setting on historical events at turn of the 20th century, such as the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition, and based the story on the concept of American exceptionalism, while also incorporating influence from more recent events at the time, such as the 2011 Occupy movement. Well, further ado, let's hop on the number 6. Number 6, DMC Devil May Cry, and on the Japanese speaking you can say Devil May Cry, is an hack and splash action adventure video game developed by the Capcom and also released by that company for PlayStation 2 for the first time, then released for PC and other versions. While the game primarily focuses on sword fighting, the player gains new weapon after beating the new game bosses, resulting in a variety of combos to perform. Set in modern times on the fictional Malay Island, the story centers Denta, a demon hunter who uses his business to get his revenge on demons. The game originally conceived in 1999 as Resident Evil 4. Due to this tough feeling, it did not fit the Resident Evil franchise. The project dropped its ties to Resident Evil and was made into its own story instead. Devil May Cry received prominent coverage in the video game media due to impact it had in the action game genre its high difficulty and the high overall scores, which many professional reviewers concluded to be one of the best of the most innovative video games of all time. Now we're gonna go to number 5. Number 5, Far Cry 3 is an open world action adventure first person to the video game developed by the Ubisoft Montreal and published by the Ubisoft Microsoft Windows, Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. The game was released on the November 29, 2012 in Australia, November 30 in Europe and December 4 in North America. A standalone expansion titled Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon was also released on April 30, 2013. Far Cry 3 is set on a tropical island between Indian and the Pacific Oceans. After a vacation goes awry, protagonist Justin Brody must save his friends who have been kidnapped by the pirates and escaped from the island and its unhinged inhabitants. The third installment in the Far Cry series, Far Cry 3, was critically acclaimed upon release, with the viewers praising world's designing, open-ended gameplay and the story, while the game's multiplayer mode was criticized. Following the game's success, Ubisoft announces the successor Far Cry 4. Well, now Far Cry 3 is a good game that can be run in any kinds of good PCs, on also on the medium PCs. So for now, let's hop on the number 4. As for the number 4, it is Need for Speed Most Wanted. Well, it is an open world racing game developed by the Christian Games and published by the Electronic Arts, announced on the 4th July 2012 during E3 press conference. Most Wanted is the 19th title of the long-running Need for Speed series and was released worldwide for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation, and the Xbox 360. Also for the iOS, Android, and PlayStation Vita, beginning in North America on 30 October 2012. With the with the Wii U version following on the 14th March 2013 under the title Need for Speed Most Wanted U. The game picked up on the Most Wanted intellectual property as opposed to the Hot Pursuit reboot that Creation developed previously. Most Wanted received positive reviews, which focuses on the worldwide map that blinded the slide and the styles of previous Burnout and Need for Speed games. The social pitches, while criticism fell on the single player mode. Following its release, the game won several, including the new awards, including the 2012 Spec Video Game Awards for Best Driving Game and the nominated for Best British Game and Online Multiplayer Game. So for now, we're gonna hop on the number 3 because we don't have enough time. Number 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now that is my favorite game here. Black Ops 2 is a first-person shooter video game developed by the Triage and published by the Activision. It was released on November 13, 2012 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, and the Xbox 360. And on November 18, 2012 in North America, November 13, 2012 in Europe, Australia for the Wii U version. Black Ops 2 is the 9th game of the Call of Duty franchise series, a sequel to the 2010 game Call of Duty Black Ops and the first Call of Duty game for the Wii U. The game was launched at the 16,000 stores worldwide at midnight on November 13, 2012. Black Ops 2 is the first game of the Call of Duty franchise to feature future warfare technology and the first to present branching storylines driven by the player choice, as well as selecting weapons before starting the story mode missions. Well, now we're gonna go to number 2. as it is gonna be a surprising good game. Number 2, Sleeping Dogs, the video game, is a game of 2012 which is open world action adventure by the United Front Games and the Square Enix London for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and especially the Windows. Set in contemporary Hong Kong, the single player story follows Wei Shang, an undercover Hong Kong American police officer, an assignment to infiltrate the son of Yi Triad organization. Gameplay focuses on Shang's fighting, shooting and parkour abilities that completed the missions to unlock content and continue the story. Well, this is the Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, but they may instead wander the game's open world and engage in both legal and the criminal activities. The latter may instead a police response, the intensity of which is controlled by a tiered system. Actions such as fighting, driving and racing grant Shang satisfactory rewards and earn the player achievements. Now we can hop on the number 1, which is finally the final game, and then we're gonna end this video. Number 1, Battlefield 3 following the EA's origin platform 2, which is PC users also authenticate when connecting to the game. The game's sequel, Battlefield 4, was released on the 29th October 2013, which is also added to the origin platform. Well, now this game is the number 1, which runs pretty nice on any kinds of PC, low end or high end, or maybe you can say the medium PCs. I wanted to use the Battlefield hotline, but yeah, I saw some PCs cannot run it very nicely, so I'm gonna have to say Battlefield 3 is going to be the number 1. Battlefield series games are always number 1, so Battlefield 3 is on the number 1. I don't care about it, but if you want to dislike the video cause the Battlefield 3 is on the number 1, dislike it, and be honest, if you really like it, then hit on the like button. But for now, I'm gonna have to end this video cause the time is running out. It is 11 PM on the night and I'm gonna have to fucking sleep or whatever it is. For now, see ya guys later.